Okay, so I've got my script open. This is what it looks like. And here are all of my curves. The next thing I think is easier to do slowly, but the curve is very flexible. The script is very flexible, so feel free to grab as many curves as you want and just hit the joints button. But what I'm going to do is I am in fact going to make joints for each of these curves, and I'm going to go pretty slow. So I'm going to hit this joints button. I'm going to take all of the joints and give them really a pretty small radius, like 0.2, 0.15, just so that they are nice and tiny. And then I'm going to rename them. And you'll note that they are not parented together, they are just individual joints sitting there on a curve. So this one is my left upper brow. We'll just call that 0, 1. And you know what, I'm going to put in one more thing. We're going to be using these as influence objects, so I might call this INF for influence. And I'll just take that, I'm going to copy, so Control or Command C, come into joint 2 and paste. And when I move on to joint 3, you'll see that because this ends in a number, Maya is automatically going to increment, which is great. That's going to speed me up a lot. And that is my left upper brow. I'll go ahead and do the same thing with this next one. This is the left lower brow curve. Just hit the joints button. Take all these suckers, make them nice and small, and then rename. This is going to be my left lower brow INF 01. You can see why I am hyper-focused on keeping all of these names short, because this is going to get ridiculous. Also, I'm not going to make you watch me do this. This is going to be very tedious. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll do this one. This is the left nose influence, 0, 1. And then I'm going to stop recording while I do the rest of mine. And then I will turn the recording back on and show you what all the joints look like. Now I'm only going to do the left side because I know that I can mirror over to the right side. But I might hold off and do that in the next video just because I want to be sure that we are all staying organized. So I'm going to pause my recording, make the rest of my joints on the left side, and then come back and meet you. So here are all of my left hand joints, and I just want you to see that it's kind of a big old mess here in the outliner because they're all at the same hierarchic level. And obviously we're going to have to change that, but I think it's a really good place to start, just keeping everybody separate, because in some ways you will want them to all be in the same hierarchic place so that you can move this part of the muscle and this part of the muscle separately. So we're going to keep them there, but we will need to clean this hierarchy up a little bit. So I know that this part has just been really tedious, and I want you to be able to take your time with it, so I'm going to stop this video here so that you can take the time to get everything really well named, really well labeled. Use your lefts and your rights and your uppers and your lowers. These are all influences, so just label them influence. Don't move on until you're ready, but in the next video I will go through the process of making these part of the main skeleton, this thing here, and then doing some mirroring because that's going to be really helpful. So when you're ready, come and join me.